Recording in progress.
That's all the board members, right? There's Craig, who's Carr. It was him.
Good afternoon. Can I ask everyone to go on mute unless you'd like to make comments at the appropriate time?
Louis, could you get whoever is just identified as iPhone to identify him or herself, please?
Yes, David, and I'm trying to get everybody to mute. Hold on a minute. Hey, we're having our special. Ashley, has everybody been let in?
Yes, they have.
Okay, and I think that we're waiting for one more. Is Mr. Roswell joined the meeting yet?
I just let him in. It says he's joining.
Okay.
He's in.
Okay, very good. I can't see the list of participants here. I'm told that we have some visitors now. At this time, I would like to call the special board meeting of the Gibson Island Corporation to order. It's 5 p.m. or actually 10 past 5 on Monday. And as you all know, the purpose of this special meeting has one purpose, and that is to approve the draft budget, which was sent to shareholders on September 26th of this year. Shareholders received it. They had it for the requisite amount of time, which is 30 days under Maryland HOA law. They've had a chance to review it on October 15th. We held a special, Gibson Island Town Hall meeting at which we had several visitors, and we outlined gave the outlines of the budget. As you know, the highlights from our budget are our fiscal 2026 budget includes a 5.5% increase in our monthly resident service fee, which is in line with our annual increases over the past 20 years. Additionally, below the operating line, you'll see a special surcharge of $800,000 for fiscal 2026. This is to help offset anticipated extraordinary and unplanned expenses, which are primarily legal expenses. It's regrettable to ask this of our resident shareholders. However, our board felt it prudent given the unforeseen expenses that we expect over the next year. The monthly billing for this surcharge will begin with on your December statement, and you'll receive approximately a $340 per property charge. It is our hope that this surcharge will be temporary. Our fiscal 2026 budget projects $5.5 million in total operating revenues, which is a 2.3% increase over the $5.4 million in total revenue we project for our current fiscal year 2025. Our 2025 fiscal results are tracking solidly. Gibson Island Services is on track to exceed their 2025 budget by nearly 31%. Gibson Island Real Estate is having an absolute record year. They are exceeding their budget by more than 200%. We're being conservative, we feel, in our forecasting, expecting our continued operating increases in our operating expenses and payroll. Our net operations are budgeted to yield approximately just under $650,000 in fiscal 2026. And that's the outline of the budget. Before we proceed to a vote, are there any comments from any public members on the board meeting that would like to make public comments?
I'd like to make a comment, Louis.
Go ahead, Craig.
I can go now?
Hold on just a moment. It'll be limited to 4 minutes.
Thank you. On September 26, 2025, the GIC HOA sent out another misleading email that is on track to cost each GIC shareholder up to $100,000 and risk for all time your names in the published fair housing case, of which GIC HOA shareholder, family, and club members stain legacy of discrimination and retaliation against the disabled through your actions or inactions in what may be the most discriminatory, retaliatory neighborhood against the disabled in America. Gibson Island neighborhood also happens to be 99% white. Do you think that 20,000 pages of emails, the DOJ statement of interest, the DOJ and HUD amicus brief, thousands of pages of deposition testimony, fraudulently recorded HOA documents, and meeting minutes from 1991, thank you, Ashley, proving the club had nothing to do with, was not involved in, and did not approve the Carson settlement, and hundreds of hours of video are enough to write a book? Do you think over the past 5 years a book has been written? What do you think the title might be? Is the 99% white Gibson Island neighborhood the most discriminatory, retaliatory neighborhood against the disabled and those associated with the disabled in America? This Friday, September 26th, an email was sent to all of us. It said additionally below what Lewis just said, operating line, you will see a special charge of $800,000 for fiscal 2026. This is to help offset anticipated or extraordinary expenses, including primary legal fees. It's regrettable. What's regrettable is the fact that this expense was not listed 32 days after the year is over. The expense is another $300,000 to $400,000 because Craig Roswell and the other law firm, that's what they're going to charge. The case is slated for 3 weeks. That 3-week trial beginning November 22nd, 32 days after the 26 budget year has ended. It's going to be another $300,000 to $400,000 on top of the $800,000. This $1.2 million in legal fees, even spent over a second year, must be a separate GIC vote because it's over $1 million. But the vote must be an informed vote about why GIC HOA continues to fight against the United States Department of Justice since November 22 and against HUD and DOJ since 24, and now against the Federal Appeals Court since July 15th, 2025, rather than settle and let 9 disabled seniors live and enjoy the Gibson Island neighborhood in a licensed group home for the disabled. We are willing to settle and help remediate the GIC HOA's neighborhood 100 years of discrimination and retaliatory stain that is splashing on the residents and club members of this national platform because its federal case is published. What did the conservative, moderate, and liberal federal appeals court judges rule on July 15, 2025? We conclude that a reasonable jury could find the corporation violated the Federal Fair Housing Act, the Maryland state law, by refusing to make reasonable accommodations to its land use restrictions for the Lucy's proposed facility, by retaliating against Lucy for protected activity, and by discriminating on the basis of disability. We therefore vacate the district court's grant of summary judgment. We conclude that this record would allow a jury to find that the corporation sought to block Lucy's latest proposal because Lucy's advocacy for the Fair Housing Act protected housing on or near Gibson Island. The United States Department of Justice contends that 2 of the corporation's conditions related to the parties' professional relationship, dispute resolution, and the arbitration escrow provisions are unreasonable because they contradict the rights secured by the Fair Housing Act. There is evidence in the record from which a jury could infer that the corporation and the community harbored hostility to the provision of equal housing rights to the disabled persons, or trafficked in stereotypes about difficulties that would be posed by disabled elderly residents. The corporation president, for instance, responded to what can only be described as an outpouring of community hostility to Lucy's proposal group home by promising the corporation would do its best to defend the deeds and agreements versus the Fair Housing Act, taking a 360-degree look at how to block Lucy, even if the group home is by right consistent with the Fair Housing Act. Let's recap. Who is responsible for the GOC spending $3,050,008 in legal fees at the end of September 2025 without a vote or copies? Jim Daly for about $800,000, Guy Scalis for about $1.4 million, Sean Murphy for about $500,000, Lewis for $300,000 plus the $1.2 million, $1.3 million. That is actually what we're talking about today, not the $800,000, because you know there's going to be a 3-week trial. Lewis, I think that's my time. Thank you.
That is your time. Thank you very much for your comments. Does any other shareholders, non-board member shareholders on the call have any questions or comments regarding our proposed fiscal 2026 budget? Thank you. At this time, as you know, we've discussed this preliminarily before we sent it out to shareholders extensively. We held the town hall. And at this time, I would like to call a vote to approve the fiscal 2026 budget. So with the motion, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the fiscal 2026 budget.
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
A second, sorry, I was on mute.
No problem. Thank you, Rick. All those in favor of approving the fiscal 2026 Gibson Island Corporation budget, as we stated, please vote aye.
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 Any opposed?
Opposed?
This is a vote for shareholders, for board members, not shareholders. Thank you. This passes. I would like to hold the board in executive session to discuss one or two items. So all visitors, I would like to adjourn to executive session right now. Ashley, will you please disconnect any visitors on this call?
Yes, just give me a minute for that.
Yes, thank you.
I should almost go on. Not much longer.